Okay, so today, Dad, are you going to be serious?
I'm going to be serious.
Okay.
I shall smile, but I will answer as succinctly as I can. But I think you will need a second run through. Go on.
Okay, well, I've told him to be brief.
Okay.
But anyway, so today I'm introducing my dad. This is Kelvin. And we're going to talk a little bit about our business. So Lou and we took over the jewellery business from my dad when he retired in 2018. And Dad used to do all the craft shows and realised that there was a gap in the market for jewellery, particularly for jewellery for men, which is where the idea of cufflinks came from, and getting sort of historical memorabilia set into pieces of cufflinks. So we thought we'd ask Dad some questions today.
Okay.
So what did you enjoy most about your time on the craft circuit?
Well, what I enjoyed most was travelling around the country, travelling all over GB, a different location every weekend, and a good social life.
I think that was the main thing,
I
the
think it
social
was.
life. And so you'd been doing this for a few years, and then tell us about how you then moved on to selling on Not on the High Street.
We just happened to be at a craft show in London, and we were approached by the owners of Not on the High Street, who were particularly interested in our range of cufflinks, and said we would be interested in joining Not on the High Street. And I said, well, we'll think about it. I hesitated because they wanted a 25% cut, but eventually we did go with them and had a good turnover with them.
You did, yeah. Dad's not one to give his money away, so 25%
Absolutely
was
not.
a lot to you.
It was.
When you were doing craft stalls and keeping it all yourself.
Yeah.
But they ended up being really good for you, didn't
They did for 3 or 4 years, and then it tailed off. I think Not on the High Street lost its way.
I think they have. We don't do any sales from hardly now, Jim.
Mm-hmm.
Teaching and running a jewellery business are obviously very, very different.
Yeah.
Different skill sets. And so what do you think, what are the two main learnings you got out of running a jewellery business that you didn't already, sort of skills that you didn't have from teaching?
Okay, so I think first of all, when I was selling direct to the public, face-to-face selling, I had to learn best-selling techniques, and I always thought that being too pushy and being too forceful to try to secure a sale was not the way to go. You had to give people space and time to make their decisions. So that was the first thing. I think I learnt that fairly rapidly, how to deal with people face to face and eventually secure the sale. When I took things online, the main thing there, one of the main things was that if things did go wrong, which they inevitably do, then always consider that the customer is always right. And I used to bend over backwards to put things right, correct any mistakes, so that reviews were always the highest we could make them.
Yes, and I always have that in the back of my mind whenever we've got sort of troublesome, awkward customers, yes, where we don't always see eye to eye. I always just have in the back of my mind the way you deal with them is your words are always customer is always right.
Avoid getting a bad review.
And so now that Lou and I are running the business, which we've been doing for 6 or 7 years now,
yeah,
and we do it all online because we've got the kids, so we can't go around the country having fun. So if you were in our shoes, what would you do differently now, given the chance?
Okay, well, I think probably the main thing is there's been a move in the last 6 or 7 years towards personalisation of gifts, particularly high-end gifts. So I would seriously consider buying a top quality laser cutter for engraving.
Okay, and yes, we have looked at that, and that's certainly on our horizon.
Yes.
And other areas do you think we could improve?
I don't think there are many actually. I think you've done remarkably well. You've developed the business far further than I would myself because of your understanding of social media and the quality of your photography. You've done everything better than me, so I think just keep doing the same.
You don't hear that often.
No.
So it's on video now.
I know.
All right, well, thank you, Dad, and I'm sure there'll be lots more comments or questions for you.
Okay.
But anyway, also Lou and I want to say thank you very much for giving us
Thank you
the opportunity to have this business, because we were doing totally different careers before.
Yeah, well, thank you for doing so well and keeping it in the family. That's great.
You're welcome.
Yeah.